dividing and multiplying integers. Now, most mathematicians will tell you that when you are multiplying integers or dividing, you multiply the absolute values and apply the integer rules, and they are positive times a negative will always, or divide a negative will always be a negative. Positive times a positive will be a positive, and a negative times a negative will be a positive, or the same times the same will always equal a positive, and the same times different will also always equal a negative. But why? Why is this true? That's the important thing to understand. So, we all know that 5 times 2 is 10. We all know the answers. Let's just be frank here. The answers are given. But we need to know why, which is the question. So, we know that 5 times 2 is 10, but why? We know that because 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 10. Okay, that explains why 5 times 2 equals 10. But why does 5 times negative 2 equal negative 10? Same thing applies. So what we've got here is 5 groups of negative 2. So we've got negative 2 plus negative 2 plus negative 2 plus negative 2 plus negative 2. And we know that that added together will give you negative 10, which is our answer. This is obviously the same in reverse, but it's a little tiny bit different in that you've got 2 times negative 5, or negative 5 times 2. So you apply the same rule, so you've got negative 5 plus negative 5, and it equals negative 10. And that's your answer. Same thing applies for positives. We know that when we're dividing whole integers, so we've got 10 divided by 2, we know the answer is 5. How do we know that? Because we've got 2 groups of 5. 2 groups of 5 equals 10. So this one, we've got 10 divided by negative 2. So what we've got is, the answer is negative 5. So we've got 2 groups of negative 5 equaling, we got 2 groups of negative 5 equaling negative 10. So therefore the answer is negative 5. And that ends. Now, I will clear the board here. There is one other little neat trick that I learnt recently, which may or may not help you. It's quite simple to do. And I'll just use a couple of these examples. I won't go through them all. It's quite simple to do. Draw up a triangle. You've got a negative, and a positive. When you multiply 2 negatives, so you scrub out the ones that you use, and you're left with a positive, so your answer is going to be a negative. So in this case, if it was negative 5 times negative 5, you know the answer would be 25. There you're bored. Okay, now when we multiply a positive by a negative, so we've got positive, negative, negative, so we've got, say for example, negative 5 times 2, so we've used a negative number and we've used a positive number, so we've got the negative left, so we know our answer is going to be negative. Interesting little trick, and obviously we don't really need to do this, but we will. Same goes for division. It's a nice neat little trick that might help you, and you're more than welcome to use it. So 10 divided by negative 2, so we've used a positive, which is the 10, and a negative, which is negative 2, so we know the answer is going to be negative, and in this case we divide the absolute value of negative 2 is 2, so 10 divided by 2 is 5, and we've got a negative left, so the answer is going to be negative 5, so 10 divided by negative 2 equals negative 5. We know that because that's the only one left. That may or may not help you, and that's all for today.